Your behavior about money is more important than how much information you know about managing your finances. Hi everybody. This time I will discuss the book The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. This book discusses how humans relate to money from the point of view of human behavior. You can use money well, not from what you know, but how you behave about money. We are taught that investing, personal financial planning, and business decisions are all a matter of mathematics where data and formulas tell us what to do. The reality is quite different. The majority of people do not make financial decisions based solely on reports. Instead, they make these decisions at the dining table or in the meeting room, where all feelings are mixed, ranging from arrogance, greed, marketing of good products, our view of the world, and so on. In this book, Morgan will write 19 short stories that explain the strange way people think about money and teach you about money itself. I've summarized the 3 highlights of this book. First, managing money doesn't have to be smart. Geniuses who lose their composure in managing their finances will have fatal consequences. On the other hand, ordinary people who do not have a financial background can become rich if they have certain behavioral characteristics about money. This has nothing to do with intelligence. There is an interesting example. Ronald James Reed is a gas station cleaner and donor in the United States. Ronald lived a simple life, saved regularly, and at the end of his life he was able to collect $8 million. The majority of his wealth was then donated to local hospitals and libraries. The second story is from someone named Richard Foscon. He is a Harvard graduate and executive at an investment management firm called Merrill Lynch. Throughout his life, he owed a lot and lived very extravagantly. Until finally, bad luck arrived during the 2008 financial crisis. This incident forced Richard to declare himself bankrupt. The difference in the fate of these 2 people is not caused by a person's intellectual level, but based on how they behave about money. Ronald lived a simple life and managed his money well, while Richard lived greedily and extravagantly. Financial success is not a rigid science, but rather a soft skill where your behavior about money is more important than how much you know about money. The experiences we have so far have greatly influenced our judgment about money. There is an interesting example. People born in the 1950s and 1970s have a different view of the US stock market. For people born in the 1950s, they have experienced for themselves how small the returns on the stock market in the 1960s and 1970s were, because at that time the average returns were only single digits. Meanwhile, people born in the 1970s have a different perception. They saw the stock market on the rise in the 1980s and 1990s. This is what makes people born in the 1970s have a more positive perception of the stock market than people born in the 1950s. This example proves that we cannot forget the importance of a person's personal experience in making a decision. Second, unique facts about money. There is an interesting story between 2 writers, Kurt Vonnegut and Joseph Heller, who were at a billionaire's party. Kurt told Joseph that the billionaire's income in a day was more than Joseph's entire income from his most popular novel. Joseph answered, yes, but he had something that the billionaire couldn't possibly have, namely enough. We have a habit of comparing ourselves to others. This is a never-ending process, and there will always be someone above us. It's like above the sky there must be a sky. Most importantly, we must know the taste is enough. This means that we avoid actions that will eventually make us regret. For example, like the story of Bernie Madoff, he was convicted of the largest Ponzi case in history. The scam lasted 17 years and involved thousands of investors with investments worth billions of dollars. This is an example of a case where a person doesn't know it's enough. They bring themselves into the abyss because they are greedy and don't know when to stop. We need to understand many things in the world are not worth the risk. For example, in pursuing wealth, we actually have the risk of losing our reputation, freedom, friends, family, and so on. Another unique fact is that wealth is something you don't see. For example, if someone drives a car worth 1 billion, it's possible that that person is rich. But the fact that you know about his wealth is that he has already spent 1 billion to buy a car. Morgan reminds us that actually when people say they are billionaires, what they really mean is that they want to spend billions, they simply want a glamorous lifestyle. However, this logic goes against being a billionaire. Morgan gave an example that there is a fundamental difference between wealth and rich. Maybe in Indonesian it means both rich. However, there is a fundamental difference between the two. Rich is a man who lives in a big house and drives luxury cars. People with big income are rich. They show that they are rich. However, wealth is different. Wealth is hidden. Wealth is income saved, not spent. So, what we actually see is rich, not wealth. Maybe there are people who look rich, but in fact the debt is very large. However, there are also people who have great wealth, but they don't look rich. Third, maintaining wealth is not the same as building wealth. There are many ways to get rich. But, according to Morgan, there is only one way to stay rich, which is a combination of simple living and being afraid. Acquiring wealth and maintaining wealth have different approaches. In acquiring wealth, you need to take risks and be optimistic. Meanwhile, in maintaining wealth, you need a mindset that is 180 degrees contradictory. That is, it must be simpler, and the fear that what we have accumulated over the years can be lost in an instant. That is why we must have a survival mindset in maintaining wealth. First, a solid financial condition. We must have good money management. For example, how much is for conservative investment and how much is for aggressive investment. This division must be clear and well observed. This is so that we are able to enjoy good financial conditions in the long term. Second, the plans we make may not happen. A good plan must be able to leave room if it fails, meaning that we must be ready with the second option if the first option doesn't work. A venture capitalist named Michael Moritz once said that we can't assume tomorrow will be like yesterday, and we also can't assume yesterday's success will lead to future wealth. Third, optimistic but also afraid. Maybe for some people this is quite confusing, but the essence is that we must be optimistic about the future, but we can feel paranoid about the obstacles we face on our way there. Of course, this emphasizes that you must always be introspective and vigilant in maintaining wealth. There is a simple fact that few people understand about Warren Buffett's fortune. Not only was he a great investor, but he was a great investor for over 75 years. This is the secret. Warren's financial success does not come from seeking the highest returns, but how you can get relatively good returns over the long term. This is what ultimately makes the compound effect roll very fast and the mindset that we should have when accumulating wealth. You can build wealth without a huge income, but you can't build wealth without the right mindset about money. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Bye bye.